Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? I'm still setting up here. I'm sorry. My other stream, I just lost track of time. So I'm starting this one a few minutes late, but I'm organizing. What time? Oh man, 5 minutes late already. Give me just another minute to set up here, but welcome to the stream. This is where I edit your photos, so you can always submit your photos in the links below. Uh, if you haven't submitted them already, I'll have to do the edits next week because I've already downloaded today's stuff. But also there's a link where you can edit my photo. Uh, and we go over those as well. So again, I've already downloaded those, so wait a few days before for my next live stream to start uploading again. But okay, let's see. Um, all right, I'm almost set up here. What I want to do is just move this one. All the edits you guys did of mine. Ooh, that's a nice one. There. All right, I think I'm ready. How's everybody doing? Darren, good to see you. Neo's back. Awesome. Darren. Uh, Dave. Wow. Lysipia, always good to see you. And Emma Selvin, hi. How are you? From Dubai. Wow, beautiful place. At least from the pictures I've seen. Um, let's see. Oh, Bob is here. Good. So if you submitted a picture, just give me a shout out and let me know you're here. Um, where's my button to this? Yeah. I guess this works. And there's a few images not showing here because I saw some DNGs and a NEF, so I'll have to come back to those. But okay. Let's go ahead and let me pick a window. Just start at the top here. What's down here? Gosh, a bunch of stuff. Man, this stream, I mean, there's not a lot of people here, but it's like I get more images every week. Um, so that's awesome because I have a lot of fun editing these. And you guys are sending some awesome pictures too. There's not much to be done sometimes. And then other times I get something like this, which is interesting. I see what you were kind of, what's interesting about this image, but it's going to be a hard one to edit to make it sort of, postcard like you would put this on a postcard, right? Because that's kind of my thing where I like to make things look like something you see on a postcard. Hi Randy, soft to be fun, good to see you. And WTG host is here. Awesome. Let's see. Okay, so let's get into this. What can I do with this? We have let's look at the EXIF because some people like to see that too. So do I, but just to give some tips on exposure sometimes. But we did this at ISO 200 f8, 12 to 60 lens. This must be Bob's picture. Yeah, it's Bob. EM1 Mark II. Because Bob, you've been really cranking with that 12 to 60 lens. It's an old M43 lenses for people that don't know. Okay, the shutter speed is a little slow. Man, 1/40th? So I feel like there's going to be some motion blur in this. But you got some steady hands, man. 1/40th of a second, I'm like risking motion blur. Even with IBIS. Trying to see some detail here. Let's look at this full screen. I'm deciding if I want to, because if I go black and white, this is going to turn into just a gray image. So I'm going to have to work with the few colors that are here. I see some reds and the brighter greens. And this branch hanging over the top. I kind of like how the shadows are coming in here. Let me punch in over here. I kind of like this area. It's a little bit soft because of the depth of field. So it looks like your point of focus was right here. Front and center. How about down here? Yeah, it gets a little soft. So you've center focused. So I'm gonna have to work in this area. Look at that. Look at the detail actually. You can see these little things sticking up on the leaves. Whatever they are, some kind of fungus or bugs. This is where I'm gonna go, is right in this area. Just because you kind of force my hand with the focus. I don't think this works overall because all the colors are so flat. Let me just work with the colors a little bit first and then see. Let me just put a pop art filter. Let me do a number 2, get it kind of dark. And let me look at a black and white. If I put a red filter, it might pop out some of the leaves in here. Let me try that. Yeah, just not enough. Oh, the red filter's bringing out some of the reds in here and over here. I might go with a black and white actually. And then add some vignette and then try and I might have to angle this a little bit too. So let me look at a crop that might work. Something like that. Be a little tighter. Get some of the background out. Eesh. Why did I think that would work? Square crop just looks awful. You think color, Dave? Yeah, we might have to go back to color. But I was hoping I could vignette this some. You know, like this. Wow, that's too strong. This way. Let's bring the color back in because I don't see the monochrome working. All right, do I have adjust color here? Okay. Let me pull back some of the greens and crank up the reds. Reds and orange. There we go. Maybe a little bit of this yellow green. Not that much. Right in there. And tiny bit more vignette. We're getting there. Starting to feel it now. What happened to the color? Just rendering a little slow today. Yeah, right in there. All right, and then let's go with let me punch in. Add a little clarity back in, like Lauren was saying. The clarity is working really well on this image. Right about there. And I bet a black and white would still work if I did a split tone. Maybe it, oh, let's do it with sharpness here. Let's do this. Let's turn off the noise filter. And give that a second to render. Let's see if I can do something with those reds again. I add this in. Okay, I think we're there. Let me pull back the blues a little bit too, just a hair. All right, and I'm gonna warm it up with the white balance. So let's try about a 6000K. Yeah, I didn't like the square crop, Bob, myself. There we go. I think that works. Let's do a full screen. A little bit heavy on the oranges. It kind of mushed these out a little bit. Let me pull that back a little. That a second to render. Maybe a little less. Yeah, the oranges didn't need any. Tad wider crop, maybe. Maybe. I can't really do it without cropping out this area here though. So, so let's do it before and after. Give that a second to render. I'm gonna get a crick in my neck leaning over like this. Yeah, I think that came out all right. Because this was so flat, this image over here. I really had to mess with the colors. But you know, now that we have a good separation of highlights and shadows, this might actually work as a black and white. So let me just entertain that thought for a second. And then if I mess with the split tones, let me see. Let me mess with the green channel. Let's pull the shadows down and highlights up. Make those kind of green. I think because the problem I was having with the black and white before was too flat, but I was able to separate the highlights and shadows pretty well. I think this is a nice edit too, even in black and white. Just add a little split toning to kind of even separate it more. You know, with the shadows being more kind of a magenta, but then the leaves kind of tinted green. I think that works too. I like this too. Because when you punch in, there's plenty of detail in here, right? If I were to take a shot like this again, I do like a close-up shot right in here with all these cross patterns. There's all these intersecting lines here. Because, you know, I'm an architectural guy, right? I really like all these intersecting lines in here. But okay, yeah. There we go. So any tips on taking a picture of a black dog? I either expose for the dog or I get a gray dog, or if I expose elsewhere, the dog kind of disappears. I know it's tough. I have a black dog too. What I typically do is I just dial in +1 exposure comp and leave the camera in matrix metering, and that usually brings it in enough. If that doesn't work, then I might go up to 1 1/3, 1 2/3. More than that, dog starts to get kind of weird looking, but that's what I do with my dog. Because spot metering on the dog, you could try spot low, spot metering, or spot shadow they call it. Spot shadow metering on the dog, and then dial in maybe a +1/3 of a stop exposure comp. Try that too. That usually works pretty well. But ultimately, you know, black dogs, you have to use a flash. All right. Oh, thanks, Dave. That turned out okay, right? Just the leaves. Wow, we have a really nice waterfall image here. I don't think there's much I would do with this except maybe it's already been edited, because look, there's still good tones here in the sky. The negative space is a little bit heavy though. And over here on the left. So I would and I need to straighten it a tiny, well no, I guess it's, I feel like it needs just a tiny bit of straightening because waterfalls always look crooked. Uh there's a line here. What is that? That's weird. Captured some sort of a paranormal thing here. I mean, I think it was lens flare, but it's blurry in here. Dang. If it wasn't for that, you'd be all right. What is that? All right, so we're gonna have to brush that out. And let's just take a look at the EXIF data. This got to be about at least, yeah, a minute there. ISO 100, EM1 Mark II. And looks like you're using a vintage lens of some kind, because there's no EXIF data on the lens. But yeah, the only thing that's bothering me about this image is the is the negative space. Bob is saying that, or Dave is saying he put that there for me to brush out. Maybe. So let me turn off the EXIF. Work with this. Let's work with this crop. I got to do something with this negative space. I don't know. Let me see what's in there. If I bring the shadows up. Yeah, that helps a little. It's not so negative. Right in there. I think I'll crop a little tighter. Let me stay 4:3 for now, but let me crop in a little bit tighter. I don't like this one branch here. I want this shadow line to kind of be in the corner. Kind of frame and lead the lines up a little bit. Let me see if that, how that looks. All right, that's not bad. All right, a little bit less shadow. Now the negative space is not so overwhelming. And let's work with the colors now. Maybe just go to vivid, and then if I have any color adjustments, I do. Definitely want the reds. Oh, I have to go back to natural, but let me go with the reds and the oranges and the yellows. I want to bring out the rocks here a little more. And let me raise the luminance on the rocks. I want to make it look like the light is coming right in here a little bit stronger. Put on the yellows and oranges. And all right, now let's add some. I think I'm debating if I should. Let me add a little contrast. I'm debating if I should go full on soft filter. Not that it really needs it, but there's a little bit of motion blur here anyway, so let me let me try soft filter. And then I'll have to darken it again. Let me reduce the effect a little bit. A bit more. And obviously we have to brush this out. Let me try. Is this a little bit darker in here? Try right here. Oops, I need a smaller brush. That's good. Nope. Not that dark. Try over here. Too bright. Let's try right here. All right, that's pretty close. What happened? Let's let that, there it goes. Try and fix this a bit. All right. Not a great job on brushing, but now let me bring some contrast back in. You don't like the softening, huh, Dave? Yeah. If I bring the contrast back in, that'll help. All right, let's look at this full screen. Tony doesn't like the soft focus either. All right, let's just look at a full screen and see. Yeah, maybe you're right. Let me let that render. Come on, there we go. That's my edit, but I'm gonna turn the soft focus down a little bit, just as minimum as possible. I like the soft focus a little bit. And let's go with this. Give that a second to render. And No, I just noticed that my screen is a little bit, where is it? Okay, that's my final edit. I didn't do a great job on the brushing, but yeah, if we turn the soft focus off, I don't know if that's going to make much difference. But here's a before and after. I didn't do much, just cropped a little and brightened up the reds in the rocks, right? Uh, but you know, I was thinking like I wanted a soft focus because I saw this blur. Oh, this picture hadn't even finished rendering, but you can see like this blur here and there in the grass and stuff. That's why I kind of went with the soft focus. If this thing ever finishes rendering, this will clean up nicely in here. Um, but it's just taking too long. But okay, let's move on. Oh, was there a reflection in the foreground too? Oh, this part right here. Yeah, that's true, but I can't crop in that close. I would cut off all of this, or if I have to go wider, I suppose I could go a little wider. This. Um, that works too. Yeah, that gets rid of the reflection. It loses a little bit on this corner, but okay, let's move on. Um, oh, I gotta close some things down here. Those all have to be on. All right. Ooh, a little duck. So we'll bring out the shadows a little bit here. And this is from Ivan. Oh, I like this blue and this orange. This is a nice complementary color here going on. So we have this duck kind of out of focus, so we'll crop him out. We'll crop out these lily pads over here. I don't like this branch sticking out of his head. All right, let's crop. I got to get rid of all the distracting elements. Maybe right there. Get rid of some of the foreground. There we go. Oh, we do a little more. There we go. Lauren, you cracked me up. All right, let's bring in the shadows a little bit. And see if there's any, yeah, noise filters off. Let's crank up the sharpening. Do a light pop filter. I just see if I can just bring the, oh man, I hope your dog's okay. Soft to be fun. Yeah, a little pop art filter worked pretty well on that. It just pop art filter, the contrast is a little bit strong, so I have to bring the shadows up a little more. Not that much. Right about there. Let me see if I can do it on a color channel. Um, well, not saturation. I want luminance here. Try about halfway. Maybe some more. Heck, just max it out. Warp 7. There we go. And then let's darken the reds a little bit. A little more. I'm trying to make the rocks a little darker. And let's make this a little darker here. I'll either do a vignette or see if I can do this with a color. Let's brighten up the duck's purple area here. Yeah, I might have to do it with a vignette. Because if I try to reduce the highlights of the sky, then I'm going to kill the duck too at the same time. What I'm going to do is, yeah, let's try a little vignetting. I may have to crop in some more. That vignette looks awful on this. Keep that tone down a bit. Let's try a little tighter crop. (16:9). Might be too wide. Square crop. Dang it. No, 4:3 is it. I don't like the square crop. So there. Let's try that. Nature says looking better, but not quite there yet. Really? What can I do here? Tiny bit of clarity for the feathers. Oh, the EXIF? Okay, I'll pull that up. I don't think dehaze is going to do anything. It might help with the sky a little bit, but just do the feathers for a color abstract, maybe. Maybe. Give that a second to render. Let me just work on I think the intent of the image was to capture this duck, right? Not to do an abstract. Oh, just, man, my computer's slow. I can't, yeah, I'd have to brush out the antlers a little bit, right? I can try. Let's see. Oops. Let's try that. Let's go over here. Give that a second to render. Dang it. Definitely want to get rid of that. Ooh, where is that coming from? That's why I don't like to brush. It just takes so long on Workspace. I don't know why it works. This brush is a pain. But anyway, all right, forget the brush. You'd have to spend some time. Who's this? Ivan. If you spend some time with the brush or use Lightroom, you can get it. You can get rid of all this around the duck. But I don't want to spend like half an hour editing with the brush here. But that's the idea. Um, give that a second to run. Oh, I'm still in the brush tool. Hold on. Let's try this again. So there's the before and after. It hasn't finished rendering yet. Come on, Workspace. You can do it. Render. Why is this so slow today? Oh, there it goes. Oops. So there we go. Final edit. Basically I had to brighten up the bird. I'd probably do a little more and then brush out these antlers and I think we're good to go. All right, let's move on. This next one actually looks kind of familiar. Rob, can you not increase the RAM memory? No. This is a laptop, but it's a Core i7 6-core 12-thread, 32 gig of RAM, 3 terabytes of NVMe. You know, it's maxed out. It's top of the line 2 years ago. GTX 1060. And I have it. I did undervolt slightly to increase the thermals on it, and I overclocked the graphics card too. Yeah, this one, I think I saw this already. This is Randy. Yeah, you sent this in last week. I think this is fine the way it is. I mean, I still like the wider crop. The foreground's still not working that well for me. So 16 by 7. Something like this kind of works. Okay, yeah, this is from last week, right? Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's move on. Oh, it's blurry. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Just a little overexposed. Oh, let me do the X. If I didn't do that on the last image, let me show what that is real quick. ISO 200 at 5.6, 1/800th of a second. Little slow for a bird moving like that. And Olympus 40 to 150 f4, so the kit lens on an EM10 Mark II. So really good shot on an EM10. Let's see, and that kit lens. But your challenge here is your shutter speed should have been maybe 1/1000th or better. Because that's why this, you know, you miss focus a little bit. And yeah, you just misfocused a little bit. It's tough though, you know? It is tough. It looks like really close though. Really a perfect angle shot. I'm gonna get rid of this sandy beach here in the top. And let's leave it as a 16 by 9. Let's see if we can fake sharpen it. Let's pull the highlights down. Maybe a little more. And the shadows. Give it some punch. And Not sure. The haze, I think the haze is going to jack it up. Let me see. That's helping a little. And a tiny bit of clarity. And let me add some reds and yellows back in. Just a tiny bit of warmth. And Randy says, I tried Workspace and did not want to learn new software. I'm fluent in Lightroom. Yeah. So that helped a little. The bird looks a little sharper. A little bit of over sharpening here on my part because you can see some artifacts. But yeah, because focus was missed and your shutter speed was just a hair slow. What was your aperture? 5.6, and you were zoomed out. Oh, you were zoomed in at 40. I would have tried maybe F8 and zoomed in a little bit, I think. I mean, it's not the kind of thing you can think about. You have to get the shot right, but I think for this kind of shot, that's where I would have been. I think that's it. So there's the before and after. So I was able to recover this. This is a JPEG, but I was still able to recover some of the highlights and detail. This beach back here is just distracting. And I'd probably brush out this bird. Because that's distracting too. I think in a JPEG I can do this pretty quickly. Let me try. Start here. I'm gonna grab over here and do it. That's about on the same focal plane. Need more blurriness. Oh, come on. Right here. There we go. All right, now I'm done. So yeah, just brush out that bird over there and we're good. You think the blue's a little strong? Maybe. We can pull back on the saturation on these blues just a tiny bit. ML7, the blue color, maybe. Yeah. All right. So this is my final edit here. There we go. Looks good. Man, the brush job works well on a JPEG. I mean, it doesn't have to work too hard. Look how clear this water is. Amazing. Great shot, though. Really amazing what you can do with that little 40 to 150. And the EM10 Mark II for that matter. All right. Let's see what we got here. Statues. Some guy in some pain there. I gotta straighten this. I want this to be straight, but then this will be crooked. Let me think. something softer. Let me just straighten a little bit. Yeah, that helps. Then it's good detail here, so we just need to dehaze and I think we're done. Um, oh, thank you, nature. And let's bring in this let's use a tone curve. I haven't used this in a while. Let's dehaze. And let's see, no noise filter. This is a well-known statue. I've never seen it before. Okay, I think I'm done. Very simple. I just adjusted it to taste. I didn't really have to do any editing. Just I like a little bit more contrast, but yeah, it's a nice shot. I think the composition and everything is just about right. The only other thing you might do creatively is get rid of this part. If I had to crop a little bit, I would crop out this bottom part, this part here. Just get rid of this corner altogether. And yeah, I think that's what I would do. I would just get rid of this corner. It looks good. See, that's why this guy's hurting. His finger's broken off here. All right, let's move on. Nice shot, though. Really nice. But yeah, not much work needed to be done there, that's for sure. What's going on here? This is a little bit soft. Oh, let's look at the EXIF data if you can. So f2.8, RX100. Oh, that's why. Okay, it's a small sensor. 70 millimeters. This from Neo. So I don't know if there's why this looks soft. This is not because it's a small sensor. Maybe there's some humidity or something in the camera, or it's like you're shooting through a piece of glass. Maybe you got a fingerprint on your lens or a smudge, but it's a little bit too soft. Oops. So nothing dehaze can't fix, and this is a JPEG. Let's try it with this. Still needs dehaze. And add some sharpness. And we have good color separation. So I like that. Yeah, it is hard, right, Roberto? Let's try some more dehaze. All right, that's getting there. And I'm just trying to think of a framing that might be better. Inch or two off the bottom and call it a day, huh? You know it's not that simple. But there's a lot of pictures to get to today, so I will move faster. Let me see how the colors are. Let me do a pop art 2, darken it. Oh, that's too dark. Pop art 1. Oh, there's lots of colors in this rock. Let's work with this filter. Where's my adjust colors? We're gonna pull off on the let's pull off on these reds a little bit. Well, before I do that, let's just crank the saturation back first. I want to bring, oh, that's too much. Right there. All right, that's just right. Now, I don't like this highlight here. Hurting my eyes up here. Anything going on? I'm thinking instead of a landscape angle, going vertical or square. And what if we do a front and center? No, that looks stupid. I'm just trying to get rid of this stupid corner. There's too much rock in here. Let's go back to try 4x3. All right, that kind of works. Let me pull this back off. I want to get the eyes in. I like these eyes. I'm going to fake brush it. Oh, wow, that's a huge brush. Yeah, right there. uh Maybe a little bit off, but let's see how that looks if we're not pixel peeping. Um and I'm just going to add some contrast in. A little bit off. Okay. And then a touch of vignette. We don't need much, just a little touch. I just want to get rid of this bright spot. I guess I can brush that too. Let me see. I can get a bigger brush. Just I don't like that one bright spot. All right, good enough. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more color. Let's pull the luminance on this yellow green off. Because vignette is just not cutting it. A little bit in here. A little less green. So let's pull the saturation back too. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now that's getting rid of this eyesore here in the corner. That was tough, but I think I got it. Let's where's my saturation? We can bring a little more saturation back in now. Now I'm going to try and brighten the eyes up again. So I need luminance, orange. See if orange worked. Oh yeah, a little bit more. I don't want to make them look creepy, but I think we're there. Okay. I think that's it. So let's do it before and after. I think that works. The hardest part actually was this part right here. And then in Lightroom, I would brush the eyes in a little bit more, get a little more catch light. And then, but yeah, there must have been humidity or something to make this so soft, because I'm not sure why this is so soft. Like you're shooting through a piece of glass. I think that works. All right, let's move on. Wow, Dave, this is so nice, but I wish I had a raw image, but let's look at the EXIF here. Oh, thank you, nature. You guys are always so nice on my when I do these edits. ISO 100 f13. Wow, 1/320th. Canon EOS 20D. I would have I think exposure wise, I'm not familiar with this camera, so I don't want to say anything. But f13 is a little high, it seems. I think an f8 and a little faster shutter speed maybe. There's so many creative choices on this shot. I'm not sure that anything I say just wouldn't make any sense. So let's see. I'm debating if there's enough color left here for yeah, let's do a pop art too. Oh, don't worry about it, Dave. Next time. You can send both, right? Some people send in the raw and then they send in the edit that they did. And that's always kind of fun to see. There's enough color here to keep that kind of golden hour glow. We just need a little more contrast. Well, let's try dehaze first. I'm going to get rid of this haze in here. Yeah. And then a tiny bit of clarity. That'll help get rid of some of this haziness here. Maybe a little more. Lauren with the sepia. Every week he says, try sepia. But I like this. I like these tones here. Like I said, Dave, the raw image would be amazing in here, because everything's clipping here. But I think we get better tones with the raw all in here. That's okay. We'll work with this. Let me see. Where's my luminance? Let's do saturation on these blues. They're kind of weird blues though. You got blues and then you got like this orange mixed in, which are on opposite ends of the. Let me pull back the yellow just a tiny bit. And I'm debating if I want a wider crop, but because the sun is so blown out, it would just be too much of the image. I don't think I want to crop. I think that's it. There's a little bit of banding here because of the JPEG and all of that, but let's see. Anything here? Let's try adding saturation a tiny bit. I mean, I've already kind of dialed it in already, but man, if this sun gets a little bit lower, I bet it would make some really interesting shadows here. What am I on? Saturation? Let me crank the blues up all the way. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The moisture in the ocean caused hazy orange to go into the blue. That's why. Okay. That makes perfect sense. All right, I think that's what I'm going to do. So there's the before and after. I mean, the raw image won't give you all this banding. It'll be a lot cleaner. But yeah, it's really good. I think compositionally it's fine. I might crop out this little rock or whatever this is down here. But then the sun would be too big. But like I said, with the raw image, this would not be an issue. I think that's... This is my final edit. Something like that. But yeah, really beautiful picture. We just need the raw image next time with these high dynamic range shots, right? But okay. Thank you, nature. Thank you, Lauren. All right. Oh, wow. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I gotta straighten it. It's a little crooked here. We have this path. I'm gonna get rid of all this and crop right in here. Vertical crop right here and straighten it, and then add some contrast and whatnot, right? Oh, good job, Soft Do Fun. Righteous is the man who takes care of his animals. Oops, I don't want that tight. But a 3, where is it? 3x4. Crop in right here. Then straighten it. So, let's see. Now you did with this with a fisheye lens? I didn't even look at the EXIF data. Let's look at the EXIF data. ISO 500 at 5.61/60th. Man, it's kind of dark. 12 to 100 f4 Pro. EM1 Mark II. I mean, I'm surprised you're at ISO 500 at 1/60th on a day like this, but okay. I guess that's about right. Shot at 28 millimeters. Lauren wants more trail. Well, it'll show up more. There's a lot of trail here. I think I'm going to crop out more of this in the top here. So let me go from this corner in. And I can come down a tiny bit here. There we go. This is a little bit too bright here, but I can vignette that. So, man, the pop art filter seems to be kind of the go-to today. Maybe not this time. Yeah, that didn't work so much this time. Let's try regular pop art. And I'm gonna pull the saturation back a little bit off of that. Gosh, the light is so contrasty here. I mean, these are way bright, and then these are too dark. And not really in a good way, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I can bring those in. Might have to vignette it. I like the Bigfoot. um, Funniest thing I ever heard was like not Dave, Mitch Hedgeberg or something. I forget his name. I think his name is Mitch Hedgeberg. But he said, you know, the problem with Bigfoot is blurry. It's not the photographer's fault. It's just Bigfoot is blurry. That's why we can never get a sharp image of him. um, okay, we're kind of there. I'm still not digging this brightness here. That's why I kind of cropped it out earlier. Um, because it's just blown out. I can't keep it. I can't vignette much more. I might have to go really dark here. And let me give some thought here. What else can I do? Okay, I got it. I'm gonna go soft filter, warm it up, and crank this back a little bit. Keep the vignette for now. Bring the saturation back in. And a little bit of contrast. And then let's warm it up. 6,000K at least. And let me see what I can do with this. Yeah, I'm gonna fix the vignette. Let me get this dark. I might have to go a little bit warmer. All right, let me get rid of this vignette. All right, we're getting there. Let me bring some light back and then warm it up. Let's try 6,500K. Another Monet. That's too warm. 6,200. Okay. Maybe 6,000 was right. I'm just It gets really weird looking when I go over 6,000. Okay. Let me work with the colors now. We need to shift the greens to be a little greener. So let's do, where's my hue? Shift these greens here. Maybe a little more. Yes, you like 6,200 on yours? I thought it was a little bit too warm. It got rid of too much of the green. Me. Oh my God, Roberto, thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Let me try and saturate the green here manually. Cause I warmed it up. I lost some of the green, but I don't want to. I want the sun to look really yellow in here. Oh, let's crank up some reds too. There we go. I like this red hitting up here. Oranges. Crank up the greens. All right, I think I'm done. Let's let that render and we'll do a before and after here. So yeah. The only challenge is this area here of the trail is so bright. Otherwise, I try and keep more of this, but that would just distract from the whole image. But I was able to keep some of it here, even though I'm still not happy with this. I'd probably Photoshop this with a brush and make this dark, like from up here. I can try, let me try that real quick. Let me get a big brush. Nice and blurry. Let me grab, come on. Grab something, oh, that's too big. Right here. A little smaller. Ah. Well, anyway. Something like that. But let's there we go. Something like that. I would, if I had Lightroom, I could do a really good job brushing this trail down darker. But other than that, I think this looks pretty good. Maybe up in here. Okay, but the vertical shot I think worked better. All right, let's move on. No, don't expose. You know, Scipius, I wouldn't expose for this trail here because it would just make everything so dark. So you just have to either walk further down the trail or come back or something and find part of the trail that doesn't have this, because there's no saving a picture if you try to expose for the highlights. The only other thing you can consider is maybe bracketing the shot if you have to be in this space. That That's all I could recommend. But if you want to try and do it in a single shot, I would a single shot, I would try and walk somewhere on the trail that doesn't have this kind of really bright area. And I would expose just for middle gray in a shot like this. Because there's so many extremes in both directions, you need to be in the middle and then pull in the ones that you want. Wow, thank you, Randy. My goodness. Oh, you're gonna go watch some racing. God, that's so generous of you, Randy. Thank you so much. I mean, I enjoy doing these. You guys don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it. That's awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one. Where are we here? Oh, I've seen this shot before, but from more to the right. There was we could see the other building, so I think this was a good decision compositionally to move over to the left and just capture this. Even though that last picture there was a lot of interesting things going on the right side. I did like it for that, but this compositionally is a little more cleaner. So both I think both shots work. The one you did before and this one. For different reasons, because the other one had more interesting things in the background, but this one is a little bit more photogenic, so to speak. So I think all I have to do is straighten this and oops, that's too much. Maybe just 1 degree. Yeah, about 1 degree. Half a degree. Yeah, about a half a degree. And then I think I can crop out all of the sky. So let's do a 16 by 9. And oh, I'm sorry. Let's do the EXIF real quick. ISO 200 f8, perfect. 3.2 seconds. Man, that's pretty fast moving water. Olympus 12 to 40 Pro, EM1 Mark II in a high-res shot mode. On a tripod using ESP metering. So, and you didn't dial in any exposure comp or anything? You know, the Olympus metering is really good, just without any help, but all right. I'm gonna go 16 by 9 and try and get rid of some of this sky a little bit. And the foreground works. Actually, this rock. Still a hair crooked to me. Maybe not. All right. Let's add some contrast or dehaze, maybe a hair dehaze and some clarity. A little more contrast and saturation. Let me see my gradation. I'm thinking we'll go auto on the gradation. Because I think I want to be able to bring out this side of the image a little bit. Yeah. Without losing the contrast. So I'm going to try it. So auto gradation works pretty well for that. Now let's crank up the oranges a little bit in a different way though. Let's see. I want to bring this out a little bit more. Maybe just red. I don't want to bring out orange. That might be too much. Let's see what red does, if anything. There may not be enough red in here. Come on, Workspace. Yeah, it's not enough red, so I'm gonna have to go with orange. Problem is the rocks in the front have a really strong orange already. letting that render. And bring the sharpness back up. Okay, that worked a little bit. I'll let that render. Let me just see. There we go. Good. Oh, I should take it back a notch. I got a little bit of noise now. But let me, I want to increase the saturation of these blues, and I like the slight reflection here. So I'll probably need a little more contrast or clarity. Just let me try clarity a little more. I want to try and bring this out a little bit more. This one red rock is a little bit too red. It's distracting from the rest of the image. That's what I was afraid of when I was cranking up the color. Let me pull back the reds. I'm gonna leave the oranges there and see if that helps, because this is definitely more red than this. Yeah, that didn't help much. It's definitely in the orange range. Not sure what I can do, because these two are so similar. I can't fix one without messing up the other. There's still something here. I still need some more contrast. Add a touch more. Oh, my battery? Okay. I'll fix that. Thank you. Okay. I think that's my final edit. So let's do a before and after, and I'll change the battery while you guys look at this. So yeah, basically I just added some contrast, and then with the auto gradation, the left side where the trees were too dark, when you add contrast, it kind of brought it back. But really nice image. And then I just cropped out the top of the sky, right? There. I think that looks good though. Oh, yeah, let me turn the sharpness down. I kind of got carried away with the sharpness. Yeah, CPL would have definitely helped. I should probably use a unsharp mask to fix the sharpening. Because it's just, But yes, I would probably use an unsharp mask to do the sharpening, but this is definitely where we need to go. So, yeah. Don't really need me in the shot, right? Yeah, that's beautiful image though. Really nice. Okay, let's move on. I would work the unsharp mask and noise filter a little bit on this image, you know, if I was really spending some time on it. Okay. Wow, another high contrast scene here. I would have dialed in at least a stop, if not 2 stops of exposure comp, because this is way too bright. But this is what the camera does. You're probably just in the regular ESP metering. So see. Yeah, ESP metering, so that's what's gonna happen. Olympus 40 to 150 kit lens, EM5 Mark III. You actually dialed in a +7 EV? You should have went the other way. Who is this? Paula? Yeah. Paula, you should have went the other way. -7 EV or 0.7 EV. Then I think this shot would have been a little better. I'd have been able to recover this a little bit. So let's crop out this flower pot and we'll stay 4x3 for now. This might be a nice square crop. Square crop might work better, but let's work with this for now. And let's do a pop art 2. That should darken it nicely. Not quite enough though. So let's try bright yellow. There we go. Like that. And let's bring back the, let's turn the saturation down just a hair. Back here. Okay. And do an easy, just a little bit on the highlights here. Tiny bit on the shadow. Let's see, let's turn the noise filter off. I'm seeing this a lot. You guys are at low ISOs, but then your noise filter is on. So just turn the noise filter off just to kind of remove all doubt about it softening up some details. And let's tilt this image a little bit this way. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, I think we're good. Let's see. Wish I could kill some of these highlights a little better. Let me try red. Red luminous channel. Not quite red, but right in here. And some less saturation. All right, I think that's all I can do here. I mean, this might even work black and white if I use a green filter. Let's just do a before and after here before I try black and white. But basically I just wanted the flowers and the butterflies to be pointing more up towards the, it's too saturated. Let me pull back the saturation a little more. All right, this is it. So let that render. A little bit contrasty, but I wanted to bring the details out on the butterfly. But yeah, this clipping, I think if you'd have dialed in a negative 7 EV instead of plus, we could have been able to really make this a little bit more balanced in terms of lighting. All right, let me just do my other theory. Is it possible to use camera via USB to help rendering picture? You can, but don't do it. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me try black and white with a green filter. Let that render for a second. A little bit soft. Ooh, I like that. It's a little bit busy, but I like this too. Just too bad with these two flowers up here. But you know, butterflies are hard. They do what they want, right? Maybe just dial in. Let's dial out. She dialed in a plus 0.7. Let's dial it back off. Go totally high key on the picture, maybe. I think this works though. I like that. Actually, I like the black and white a lot. Now what I would do is, instead of killing the highlights, let me put them back in a little bit. And yeah, I like this actually. I like the black and white. Okay, there we go. Let's move on. Yeah, when you edit, some cameras you can use, this is for Jonas. You can hook up your camera to process some of the editing, right? But it's very limited. You only get to do like, I tried it and yeah, it works, but there's too many limitations in what you can adjust. It's only like brightness and contrast or something. It's not as many things you can edit when you hook up the camera directly. Maybe I'll do a video on that, do a workspace video showing how you hook up the camera and what you can do with it. But I ended up just ignoring it altogether because there just wasn't enough there for me to do it. Oh, look, a little bird. Shutter speed probably a little slow because these tiny birds, they twitch, and that's why I think there's a little bit of motion blur here, but not here, right? These things you have to be at like 1/2000th of a second to really get sharp birds. But let's look at the EXIF, see if I'm right. So you're at ISO 3200, 1/250th of a second. So yeah, you're nowhere near being fast enough. But I get it. It's hard to do sometimes. So you used a 2x teleconverter on the EM1 Mark II. That's why you're at f8. Man, that's tough. So you did the best you can. Who did this, Steve? Yeah, you did the best you can with the light that you had. No question. So I can't offer any other suggestions here. That is the very best you can do. The only thing you can do, and I know you're, did you crop this at all? What are the dimensions here? You didn't crop this at all either. The only thing you can do in shots like this is use a flash. When there's not enough light, um, use a flash and then you'll get a lot more color. I'll have to do a video on that too, using a flash. There's some videos out there now using flash with birds, but that, I think maybe your next step from there is to start using flash with your bird photography for birds like this sitting on a log or something. Um, oh, so this is a white-breasted, I lost it. White-breasted nuthatch. Oh, okay. Um, but yeah, let's edit this real quick. This doesn't need much editing actually. I think we'll just do a square crop. Come on. Why isn't it letting me crop? One by one. Coming off the corner. Let's put the eye of the bird right in the center. And just add sharpness here. I should probably do unsharp mask for something like this. Let me do that instead. And yeah, flipping is not a bad idea. I thought about that, but I'm gonna work with it as is. Let me go. Oops. Let's try 1 pixel. Yeah, a little bit of motion blur. Tiny bits here and there. That's definitely. Get back off on the threshold a little bit. I think that's about all I can get away with. Let's go to 1.5 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Back off the threshold. Let's try 25. A little bit more. Sorry, I'm concentrating on the sharpening here. Back off here. All right. There we go. Now let's work with the, let's turn off this noise filter. Let's do a little bit of colors here. Let's separate this red and this blue. So, reds and oranges, and then the blues. See how that works. And let's darken the reds and oranges too. Right in here. Just go all the way with the blues. A little bit in here too. Tiny bit here. Let that render. I think we're done. So a little before and after. Yeah, I think that works. Let's see how I did on the sharpening. Oh, terrible. Look at this grain. I gotta fix that. But that's the before. Oh, not bad on the sharpening, but I need to fix this noise. Let's just turn the noise filter back on. I know I turned it off, but let me turn it back on. Well, before I do that, let me increase the threshold. Let's try 25 again. And we'll go to a single shot. Let that render out and we'll see. Okay, I think that looks good. Yeah, just the shutter speed was too slow, but I get it. There's not much you can do with the settings you had. Let me just check your settings one more time. You're at ISO 3200, so yeah, I think you've done all you can do here. Why is that? Okay. Okay, but yeah, nice, nice. Um, okay, let's move on, but good shot. Good shot. I think, yeah, I think just crop and then increase the color contrast, the reds and the blues. You know, increase both of those, then darken the reds, and we're good. Okay, ouch. This one here, let me soak this in. This one here, the skies are really amazing. And there's this reflection too. But everything else in the scene is just trees. I don't see it. I want to try and capture the calmness here. So maybe these let me straighten it first. And hey Luke, how are you? Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, I don't like this pole here. Or this stick. There's a reflection of the bird, but can't see the bird itself. Oh. I'm totally not seeing that at all. I must have cropped it out. Oh, I see it right here. All right, this guy. It's out of focus anyway, so we'll just ignore it. But yeah. Kind of. I feel like this is all I can do here. Um. Yeah, I don't like this wide crop. I'm gonna go with a square crop. Come all the way in. Right here. And then, and let's try 4x3. That's a little bit too square. Right here. I don't know if I can get this bird in the shot looking into the scene. Let's see. Not really. Maybe let me look at auto gradation, see if that helps. Nah, the bird is just too blurry. Can't save the bird this time. I'm gonna go with my original thought of just a calm scene. And let's do the haze and contrast. A little bit of clarity. And let's see, we got some blue and green. So, and there's a little bit of magenta up here. I'm thinking, I'm a little bit crooked. I'm thinking, if I did a black and white, I got highlights and shadows here, and then highlights again. I don't think any of these colors work together. This magenta and green and blue, I don't like it. Let me think. Maybe a split tone black and white, because the colors are just not cutting it here. Yeah, I don't like this magenta blue green combo. I mean, actually, it kind of works down here for some reason. But it's not working up here. That's weird. But still, I think come back in the fall when you have different colors here in the trees. This will be a great shot. But right now, this blue purple magenta thing is just not working for me. So I'm gonna go with a monotone and split tone it. Let me think. Do I need a filter? If I did a blue, I do a red filter. There's some reds in this thing though. Try green. Okay. That kind of works. Let me try red. I don't want this to be any brighter though. All right, let's work with that. And I'm gonna add a little more contrast. Now let's do it this way. Why did that? It's not what I wanted. I wanted it this way, a little smoother. Like that. And let's split tone it. So shadows will have, no, let's do highlights a little warmer and shadows a little cooler. Let's try the other way. Not sure that's working. Let me look at do red. Pull this one down. I'm gonna look at green. I want to split tone this, but I need the right combination here. Maybe just the highlights are so strong. All right, I think this is it. I just can't do anything else. Yeah, the biggest problem with this image is the bird is interesting and looking into the scene. So you have to move over to the left so he's not silhouetted or not, you know what I mean? Like get him into the light of this so you can at least see a silhouette of the bird. So you're gonna have to silhouette the bird and then capture him looking down the river here. But since I couldn't do that, I just went with the calmness over here and then split tone it. So you know, it's something. A little more contrast maybe, but that's all I can do with this. Come back in the fall when the trees are changing colors and this could be a good shot. All right, let's see what we got here. Gosh, I gotta really move fast. Wow, this is dark. Man. And going for a starburst effect. But this is way too dark. I like this light hitting the tree here. You need you just need to expose this a little brighter. Let me just raise the exposure and just see what's in this scene because I can't see anything. Oh, PFK, you're welcome. Man, I think the image is right here. All of this has to go, everything around here. Let me bring this down just a little bit. I'm gonna crop 4:3. Oh, that's the moon, Dave? I seriously doubt it. Let me look at the EXIF. I'm sorry, I didn't even look at the EXIF. What are we at? ISO 200 f7. No, this is not the moon, Dave. Look at the shutter speed, 1/3200th of a second. No freaking way. Olympus 8mm fisheye on the EM1 Mark II. Yeah. They did a spot meter here. I guess on the sky because they're trying to expose for the sky. I guess, is that what you're trying to do, Benny? But the shot is right here. You were too wide. Oh, look, there's a little blue buoys in there, red buoys. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna warm this up. 6000K. Yeah, that's looking better. Oh, you were joking? Okay. Uh, Yeah, they spot metered on the sun. Clearly, I think they spot metered like right here. If they spot metered on the sun, they'd be at like 1/8000th or higher. They probably spot metered right over here. So we made this a little warmer. And let's increase the saturation on the blues. Let's start at about half and see what happens. You'd need a huge flash, Dave, with a wide angle fisheye like that. That would be tough to do. There's very few flashes that shoot that wide. So you'd have to shoot in tighter. I mean, you could use a flash and then crop in like I did, but the scene, usually these kind of scenes, you need a really powerful flash. A small handheld flash is not going to cut it. All right, we're almost there. Let's just go all the way with the blues. And bring the blues back in a little bit, because I'm going to brighten the image again. You could do light painting, but the problem is your shutter speed's at like half a second when you're light painting. The shutter speed on this image is at 1/3200th of a second, so I don't know how you would light paint at 1/3200th of a second. You'd have to wait till really dark at night and then do a moonshot maybe. Yeah, 280, like 280/600s would do it, Dave. Maybe an 8400, but you need a lot of light and spread out. You'd have to spread it out, and the reason you need a lot of light is because you have to spread it out so wide. Mainly. I'm thinking we're almost there. Let me pull the blues all the way in. And then I'm thinking really crank up. Oh, why am I in art filter mode? What I want to do is really, I'm going to make silhouette here, but then keep the highlights. So let's do, whoa, that's the green channel. Hold on. Let's pull it in this way. And then I can darken the exposure back. Let's do, let me pull the exposure back one. Oh, I'm losing the sun. I'm losing the starburst effect. So let me do it this way. Let me just drag it. And then drag it this way. I'm just not getting the effect that I want. What am I doing wrong here? I'm losing the starburst on the sun. Dang it. Let me try one more time. This. Maybe more in the mid-tone area. Something like that. I'd have to bring this in a tiny bit more. All right. God, I'm really jacking this up. Let me look at the before and after and see how bad I am here. Not done rendering yet, but I think framing wise, I'm in the right direction. It just, this thing is just not, oh, it is rendered. It's just I did really bad editing job. Oh, man. Where's my rendering messed up? Is it in the curve? Tiny bit in the curves. And in my colors. Whoops. Saturation. All right. I think that's all I can do, really. Other than, let me just try a quick pop art. I really want to bring the colors in. Yeah, that helps. Yeah, that helps. All right. Let me turn this off and see. May not need these individual adjustments with the pop art filter. Yeah, perfect. All right, now I'm done. So there's the before and after. I just need to turn the saturation down a little bit. Half here. And now I'm done. Let that render. I mean, it's not done rendering yet, but this is the composition I would go for, basically. Okay, that looks good. Maybe a little bit cooler, but we're good. All right, let's move on. I'm getting hungry now. Ooh. Dang, we got this brush going right into the guy's head. Could have moved over a little to the left and have been perfect. Yeah, back off the saturation, right? Yeah. This looks like a standard matrix shot. Yeah, ESP, EM10 Mark II. Must be using some adapted lenses because again, there's no lens EXIF data. Maybe a 9mm fisheye because this is really wide. All right. And we're at ISO 200, 1/4000, so it's really a bright day. Okay, Dave, we'll see you later. I know, I'm so hungry. Let's see if we can save some of the highlights. And do an auto gradation. Save some of these trees. And let's go a little bit wider shot. 16:9 would probably be a good angle. Be kind of like the framing. I want to balance this rock with this guy. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can save the shadows again. All right, let's add some contrast. Add the saturation back in. Oh, all the greens got lost over here. I can do it with VN. Oh, it's an eye enhance. That's why it's kind of weird. Let me do natural and see. Or a vivid. Let me try vivid. Alright, that's why I was struggling. Dehaze. Clarity. And where's pull the shadows back down. Not that much. Sharpness. Turn off this filter. I think we're there. I was thinking I can crop in more on the right, maybe. But I got about equal space. I think actually I want to crop more of the top off. Come on. Something like that. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, I think I'm done. So I'd like to get a little more contrast in the trees, but this is the direction I would go. I think some reds would be good. Where's my... Oh, I can't do adjust color if I use vivid, so... I adjust color. Yeah, adjust color is disabled. Okay. Yeah, let me see if I can just make those greens a little bit stronger. Jonas, you want black and white? Maybe. Maybe black and white too. Yeah, that's beautiful too, actually. And then a tiny bit of split toning. Pull this in a little bit here. Yeah, I know. I'm tinkering too much. Something like that. I think that looks pretty good. Tiny bit more in the shadow. All right. There you go. I think black and white works really well too. The color wasn't bad, but black and white looks good too. Let that render for a second, but yeah. And then if we go full screen on mine, I think that looks, let me get my head out the way. Yeah, I think that works. Really beautiful scene. Okay, let's move on. Oh my God, so many images. I'm gonna go really fast here. Let's see. Quick EXIF data, ISO 64, EM1 Mark II. No lens data. Manual white balance. Wow, you put a lot of work into this. 1/15 of a second. That's why there's motion blur. See all this? Oh. So I gotta straighten this. Why is it 1/15th of a second? I mean, it's not like you're stopped down. There's... Oh, okay. So I gotta straighten this first. There. Um, and then we'll go vintage. Try vintage 1. Warm it up? No. Yeah, that I like that. That one. Let me look at this vintage 3 real quick. I like vintage 1. And 50mm Samyang 1.2. Okay. This is where I would go with this. Just a tiny bit of dehaze. Straighten it a little more. And no, it's about right before. Tiny bit of contrast. I think we're done. Okay, so yeah, I just went kind of with a vintage look because this is kind of a timeless image, right? Where there's nothing here to really indicate that it's this could be taken like 50 years ago, maybe 50 years from now. I just decided to go with a vintage look. But I kind of like that. It could easily be a black and white too. Um, Black and white might be the way to go. I just have to crank up the dehaze a bit. Just to bring the tones in really strong. Turn off this vintage. There we go. Now we're in business. All right. Black and white looks good too. I like it. Yeah. Right? I don't like the crop, huh? I like the crop. I don't like all that empty space on the right. All right, let's do the next one. Oh, this from Lauren. Yeah, he emailed me about this. There's not much I can do with this. It's really perfect the way it is. It's already a tight shot and it's already been processed. The only thing I thought was interesting was I like the way this the reflection of this dog is in the guy's eye. I would try and think of some composition where that would work if you could get the guy to stand still long enough. But I like how this dog's tongue is sticking out. But yeah, this is a great shot, Lauren. There's nothing I can do with it. It looks good the way it is. Right? Okay, nature, sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm like, all right, let's I gotta work faster because I'm starving to death here. Okay. I'm gonna go wide again. Right there. And see, maybe a little bit more. Get about the reflection. See what that looks like. No. I have to save the reflection. I just don't like this birds down here. Maybe we don't need all the reflection. Um, Man, 16 by 7. And try a partial color. And go with red. Yeah, there we go. Let's add some dehaze. Bring out some of the tones in the sand. And add some sharpening. I think I'm done. That was an easy one. There's the before and after. Very, very simple. Partial color, a little bit of tones in the sand. And then I think that looks good. Oh, let me get my head out the way. Yep. Okay. Let's try the next one. Ooh, okay. Bob didn't like my crop. Sorry, I missed it. I get it, the wavy part, you could go another direction with that. Let me look real quick. No. I'm sticking with my crop. I like my crop. I don't think that works quite as well. But okay, let me move on. I'm sorry. I'm just getting so hungry. I gotta fix the horizon a bit. Even though it might be straight in real life, in a photo it looks crooked. So we'll do that. Let's go really wide again. Whoops, not that kind of wide. This one. Come down. And ton of dehaze. A lot on the clarity. There we go. And let's crank up saturation and contrast. So I really want to bring these beams out. Okay. Let's warm it up a little bit, and I think we're done. Oh, 6,000. 6,000K seems to be my number today. I should go play the lottery with that number. All right. Let that render, and I think we're done. Maybe maybe not quite. Let me see if I can work with the curve a little bit. Just a touch there. Wait. This. Like that. Not sure. In there. Just need more saturation. I need a little more. Do I have no, I don't have my adjust colors available, so Um, try clarity. Okay, I think I'm done here. Um, something is. I like this red tops here. I wish I could emphasize that more. Let me just try something. Oh, God, that that's awful. I'd have to, yeah, forget that. All right. Maybe why not? Okay, I think this is it. I wish, let's look at before and after. Not quite done rendering, but uh, looks like I pretty much kept the same crop as the original. All I did was increase the contrast. Um, in Lightroom, I would do some more things with this, but this is about all I can do in. I mean, this is a perfect spot to come back to and keep trying. Lauren with the sepias. I don't know. Maybe because the colors are kind of rough. Because the color contrast is poor. I don't know if I like sepia. I like sepia on old barns and things. I'm not a big fan of sepia on most other things. Just don't like that. The only thing I could do is maybe a monochrome and split tone it a tiny bit. Like so. I mean, that kind of works too, right? Um, needs to render a little bit, but this kind of works. I kind of like a little better because I couldn't get the colors right. Now it's done rendering. Okay, that's one edit. All right, last one. Oof, man, it's always these hard ones. Let's see. The composition's a little rough. The water's cut off, so I might have to crop right up to here and we'll do a wide shot because I like the way that the light's coming in through the trees. That's too wide. Let's try 16 by 9. Come up to here. We might be able to get away with a wide shot. I mean a square crop. We just have to get a little bit left of this water. Let's try 4 by 3 or 3 by 4. Right there. There we go. And a little bit lower. Okay, right there. All right, now we're good. Try pop art. There's not much color here, but maybe a pop art will bring that out a little better. And then back it off. Work with the tones a little bit. Might have to go back to soft focus. Oh, I don't have my slider here. And yet to the white. Okay. There we go. And make it a little bit warmer. Natural. 6000K again. And let's back off this white vignette. Whoops, whoops, didn't want that. Right there. I go to the red channel. I'm going to increase the reds in the shadows. And I'm going to pull them back in the highlights. Actually, right about there. All right. Now we're good. So before and after. Not my best at it, but I think starvation here is having an impact on me. Malnutrition. I was just trying to keep this mood of these light rays coming in, and then frame the water a little better, because when the water's cut off like this, it never looks right. And I get it, because you're probably standing on the edge with your feet wet anyway. And you wanted to capture this and the water, so I kind of get it. And it doesn't look like there's many places to walk to get a different angle anyway. So this is probably a shot I wouldn't have bothered with, because it'd be too hard to get it right. But that's really all I can do. I just try to make it more surreal. All right, I don't even know if anybody's here anymore. It's been so long. Dang it, the only thing left really are the viewer edits. So I'll just go through these very quick. The original image, let me see if it's still. I think that was the last thing I did yesterday, was this. Yeah, this is the original image here. Unedited. So let's look at. Oh, I like this. This is probably Surge. Yeah, it is Surge. Surge has been framing and going crazy, but I like this edit. It really, you know, compared to the original, I think, yeah, you brought in a lot of nice dark tones. I like that. Ooh, no. This is too contrasty. Hmm. I mean, I kind of like the square cropping, but yeah, the processing is a little rough. Who is this one? This is, oh, Bob? God, I'm a little surprised, Bob. We're usually on the same page with these edits, but we're way off here. Um all right, how about this one? A little dark, but I like the wide crop. Here's the original. I like the wide crop though. It's just a little bit too dark for me. And Monica says, I recently purchased the M10 Mark II camera. Awesome. But my question is, how do you know whether the electronic shutter, if it takes 10-bit, it's 12-bit raw on the it's 12-bit raw for EM10 Mark II. Okay. Let's see what's next here. All right, we'll see, Lauren. I can't believe I've been doing this for almost 3 hours now. Ooh, this works actually. I didn't think I would like this when I was looking at the thumbnail, but when it's full screen, I like this edit. I would do a little bit more contrast or something, but this crop I like. I like this crop. Who sent this one? Neo, good job. I like this crop. I don't know why. I like that it's just all the trees here and a little bit of foreground. But I like this. I like the lines and patterns in the trees. And this one is another one, Neo. This one I don't like as much, Neo. This blurriness looks too fake. Yeah. This doesn't work for me, but I like the other one better. And then the last one here, this is from Joni. Oh, so you did a color swap here from green to red? I don't know. I mean, you can probably fix a little bit of this, but even if you didn't have these weird blue artifacts, I don't think this red purple complements this green too well. I mean, it's supposed to, but this is more of a blue. So I would have went with a gold color if I was going to swap this, just to get that, you know, cinematic kind of look. And cropping wise is different. You went more for the ground here instead of the trees. That kind of works. But okay. We're gonna call it. So anybody left, I appreciate you staying this long, or if you joined in late, I'm sorry you missed everything. You can watch the replay. But every week, you know, you can submit images and I edit them. I'm gonna try and go faster next time. I don't know why it took so long today. And then also I leave a picture out usually that you guys can edit. That's one of mine, and then we can kind of go over them. But thanks again for watching, and thanks everyone who did a super chat today and made donations. I really appreciate that. And we'll see you guys again on next week.